When did your family realize you weren't a little kid anymore? I'm 23 and my family still cuts my food for me at restaurants. Not kidding. My mom will literally reach over and slice my chicken into bite-sized pieces while I'm eating it. Growing up as the youngest of 7 kids by a huge gap didn't help. My siblings are all 10-15 years older than me, so they've always treated me like their living doll. At family dinners, they still ask if I need help tying my shoes or if I remembered to brush my teeth. My sister Amanda still tries to help me order at restaurants, telling servers she'll have the chicken nuggets without asking what I want. Last month at my cousin Abigail's wedding was the absolute worst. The whole extended family was there. Aunts, uncles, grandparents, great-aunts, family friends, the worst. During cocktail hour, my Aunt Janet loudly announced that I couldn't have champagne because babies don't drink alcohol. She handed me a juice box instead. A juice box. At a wedding. I'm 23 years old with a medical degree. Then came dinner seating. My Uncle Mark grabbed my arm and said, "Come on, sweetie, you're sitting at the kids' table." I tried to protest, explaining I was an adult, but he was already walking me over to a table full of actual children. 8-year-olds coloring on placemats, 10-year-olds playing with action figures, and me, with my college degree and my job that none of them bothered asking about. The kids kept asking me questions like, "What grade are you in?" and "Do you like our coloring books?" I spent the entire dinner helping a 6-year-old nephew cut his chicken while my family laughed from the adult tables, pointing and taking photos like it was cute. My cousin Kelly walked over during appetizers. "Ah, look at you helping the little ones," she cooed. "Maybe someday you'll be ready for grown-up conversations." She patted my head like I was a golden retriever. The breaking point came during cake cutting. When the bride and groom finished their ceremonial first slice, they started serving guests. My Uncle Mark walked over with a plate and a plastic fork. "Let me help you with this, honey," he said, and started cutting my slice into tiny little pieces like I was a toddler who might choke. "Uncle Mark, careful with the fork, sweetie," he interrupted, taking it from my hands. "We don't want any accidents. Remember what happened at Christmas when you tried to use the good silverware?" I hadn't dropped anything at Christmas. He was just making stuff up. The entire reception was staring at this point. Other guests were whispering and pointing. Some were filming with their phones. I felt my face burning with embarrassment. That's when the bridesmaid of honor walked over. She was this elegant woman in her 40s, looking confused. "Excuse me, are you Dr. Nguyen?" she asked, staring directly at me. Everyone at nearby tables turned to look. My Aunt Janet burst out laughing like this was the funniest thing she'd ever heard. "Oh, honey, that's just our baby cousin," she said condescendingly. "She's still figuring out college classes and living in the dorms. Playing dress up as a doctor, aren't you, sweetie?" The woman's face went from confused to absolutely shocked. "Ma'am, this is Dr. Nguyen. She performed emergency brain surgery on my 6-year-old daughter last Tuesday at Children's Hospital. 8-hour operation." You could hear a pin drop. The entire reception fell silent. Even the band stopped playing. My mom's champagne glass stopped halfway to her lips. "Surgery? But she's only..." Her voice trailed off. "23, I said quietly, finally speaking up. "And I've been a licensed neurosurgeon for 8 months. Youngest in the state, youngest in the country, actually." My Uncle Mark was still holding my plastic fork like an idiot, his mouth hanging open. The maid of honor continued, her voice getting louder so everyone could hear. "She saved my daughter's life when 3 other doctors at different hospitals said the brain tumor was completely inoperable." My Aunt Janet's face had gone completely white. She slowly reached over and pushed my juice box away from me like it was contaminated. "The hospital called her a prodigy," the woman went on, her voice carrying across the silent reception. "Said she has hands steadier than surgeons with 30 years of experience." I stood up and took the plastic fork back from my uncle's frozen hand. "So," I said, looking around at my family's stunned faces, "I think I can handle cutting my own cake." The maid of honor smiled and walked away. My family just sat there, speechless, while other wedding guests started whispering. Finally, my mom whispered, "Why didn't you tell us what you really do for work?" "I tried," I said, multiple times. "But every time I mentioned the hospital, you assumed I meant my campus coffee shop job." That night, I got 7 separate apology texts and 3 offers to help me find a real apartment.